Welcome to a special edition of United One Way Salute to Black History. We appreciate you joining us today for our time of reflection, honor, and extending our gratitude to those who paved the way for all of us to be where we are today. In today's service, we will feature and highlight the achievements of Carter G. Woodson. I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy information to enrich your knowledge on those who gave so much for the cause of African Americans in our country. We hope you are blessed. Carter Goodwin Woodson was born to the son of former slaves Annie Eliza Riddle Woodson and James Henry Woodson on December 19, 1875 in New Canton, Virginia. Woodson was an American historian, an author, journalist, and the founder of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. He was one of the first scholars to study the history of the African diaspora, including a focus in African American history. As the founder of the Journal of Negro History in 1916, he became well known as the father of Black history, and it was Woodson's idea in February of 1926 to launch the celebration of Negro History Week. This occurred in the second week of February to coincide with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, two impactful American figures on the African American experience. And this celebration, the Negro History Week, became what we now know as Black History Month. Woodson was blessed to be in a family that not only was loving, but supported his dreams and pushed him to achieve. While his parents were both prevented from learning how to read in their time as slaves, they pushed their children to value education. His father, who had helped Union soldiers during the Civil War, supported their family as a carpenter and a farmer. Through his hard work, the Woodson children were able to go on to achieve amazing feats. Woodson's parents would constantly remind them that the happiest days of their lives were when they became free, and it was their dream to see their children go further. Unfortunately, as a part of helping out on the family farm, Woodson wasn't able to regularly attend primary school, and so most of his learning came through self-instruction. But he was so brilliant, he was able to master most school subjects on his own in his own time of learning. By the age of 17, he had not yet had an opportunity to enter high school. He followed behind his brother to West Virginia in the hopes of attending the secondary school for African Americans founded there, Douglas High School. Unfortunately, Woodson was forced to work in the coal mines of West Virginia instead of being able to truly pursue his education. But he never gave up. At the age of 20, he was finally able to enter Douglas High School full-time and received his diploma a little than 2 years later. He became employed as a teacher in West Virginia and advanced his education even further. From 1897 through 1900, Woodson was employed as a teacher in a school in Winona, West Virginia. His career advanced further in 1900 when he became the principal of the very school it took him so long to have an opportunity to attend, Douglas High School. He began to teach all around the country. In Kentucky, he received his bachelor's degree in literature from Berea College. He went on to serve as the school supervisor in the Philippines, which had recently become an American territory. He attended the University of Chicago and became a member of Sigma Pi Phi, also known as the Boule. Woodson was a man of brilliance. His brilliance was recognized even as he began his work on his PhD in history at Harvard University, which he attained in 1912. He was the second African American to earn a doctorate degree, second only to W.E.B. Du Bois. Not only was he the second to earn his PhD, but he was the first and only African American to be the son of former slaves to become a PhD from Harvard University. While Woodson's passion for education and his capability as an educator, a principal, and school administrator was apparent, no white university was willing to hire him, until ultimately he became the principal of an all-black Armstrong Manual Training School in Washington, D.C. He later joined the faculty of Howard University, a historically black college and university in Washington, D.C., as the professor, and then later served as the dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Woodson felt that the American Historical Association, which was run by white historians, had no real interest in black history. He noted that while he was a dues-paying member, he wasn't even allowed to attend the Historical Society's conferences. He was convinced that no future in the white-dominated historical profession was being allowed for a black historian, and he would have to create an opportunity for himself. Woodson was convinced that white historians were intentionally glazing over the history of his own people as it related to not only American history, but world history. They were ignoring the culture. They were misrepresenting the facts and the historical information. Woodson realized there needed to be further research, dedicated research into the neglected past of African Americans. And so he founded, along with William Hartgrove, George Cleveland Hall, Alexander Jackson, and James Stamps, the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History on September 9, 1915 in Chicago. Woodson's purpose, as he put it, was to treat the record scientifically and to publish the findings of the world in order to avoid the awful fate of becoming a negligible factor in the thought of the world. He became a champion and inspiration for the study of African American history. Woodson devoted the rest of his life to historical research of the African American experience. He worked tirelessly to preserve our history and the documents and artifacts that told the story, the whole story, the true story, the real story of African American contributions to the world. He was certain that those contributions were being overlooked, ignored, and even suppressed by the writers of history textbooks and the teachers who used them. He said, "Racial prejudice is merely the logical result of tradition, the inevitable outcome of thorough instruction to the effect that the Negro has never contributed anything to the progress of mankind." His work and the items and artifacts he was able to preserve can be found to this day in the Library of Congress. His work was seminal, important, and transformative to our understanding of what the African American experience truly was and how we overcame the trials and tribulations that we were forced through the institution of slavery. In 1926, Woodson not only pioneered the celebration of Negro History Week, but he wrote about its purpose, quote, "It is not so much a Negro History Week as it is a History Week. We should emphasize not Negro history, but the Negro in history. What we need is not a history of selected races or nations, but the history of the world void of national bias, race hatred, and religious prejudice. It was his hope that we could integrate our understanding of history and give true credence to the actual contributions of each type, race, and person who impacted it. In 1970, Black educators and students at Kent State University expanded the idea of Negro History Week to include the entire month beginning on February 1st. Since 1976, every U.S. president has designated February as Black History Month. So we hope that in the spirit of Carter Woodson, you find opportunity to study your history, learn about the contributions of African Americans, but to see it not just as African American history, but as he said, as history. We hope you've enjoyed our special presentation. And now we'd like to offer you a very special opportunity, the chance to become part of the family of God. If you'd like to receive Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, pray this prayer with us. Lord Jesus, I thank you for my life. I thank you for being my Savior. I ask that you come into my life and forgive me of all my sins, for I am a sinner in need of your salvation. Bless me now to walk fully in the promise you have for my life. Save me, cleanse me, wash me, and make me whiter than snow. I accept you into my life. I crown you King of Kings of my heart, and I ask that you help me to walk with you from this day forward. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen. If you prayed that prayer, you are now part of the family of Christ. We also at this time would like to extend the opportunity for you to have a chance to give. The ability to give to the work of Christ and the ability to give to the Lord's church is one that we believe is so precious. And we hope that you find an opportunity, whether it's to tithes, offering, seeds, or acts of love, that you're able to give into the ministry of this church. You will see on your screen multiple ways and opportunities to give. We ask that you choose the one that works best for you and be part of the people who keep the church moving forward. We really appreciate you. We're praying for you, and we hope that you always remember, if you take care of God's business, God will take care of your business. God bless you and have a wonderful week.